We are back.
We're back.
It is another year in the books for Bluff Park Creative. How do you feel this year went?
I feel really good about this year. I felt like we honed in our scope from the first year. We really thought about what our brand as Bluff Park Creative wanted to be, and kind of the projects we wanted to take on this year. And I felt like we accomplished a lot of the goals that we set at the beginning of 2025.
Yeah, I know. I think you're right. Like narrowing in that scope was a game changer for the year. And so I want to ask you, just as an icebreaker, what inspired you or who inspired you the most in 2025?
I'm gonna kind of be a little bit different here. I would say my favorite band, which is 21 Pilots, really inspired me. They did their last album of kind of this story arc that they've been doing for over 10 years, and the way that they did it, both musically and then also visually within their storytelling of their music videos, and just the writing of it, I felt like really inspired me, as a storyteller myself and as a creator, to kind of think about the overarching plan of that. So to kind of push it back to Bluff Park Creative, we really set out the year, wanting to do stories that had an arc to it. And I felt like we had some projects this year where we were able to really focus in on that part, and not just be focused about doing,
Yeah.
a cool video.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was really inspired by the StoryCorps this year. They do a lot of stories around 9/11. I had to go to New York this year for a work event. And while I was there, I went to the 9/11 memorial pools and even got to do the museum and was just blown away by what I saw. Like physically hearing stories about firefighters and then seeing Ladder 3 just completely damaged in person was just kind of monumental for me. So I was very inspired by the storytelling, and it's important to tell people's stories. And so that really bleeds back to Bluff Park Creative for me because we get to tell people's stories and
Right.
people are excited. And while we focus in on creators, makers, everyone has some kind of story to share. So it's really cool to be in the space where we get to capture that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I felt like we had multiple opportunities to do that this year. I know our first project of 2025 was with Gracefully Made Art, with Melissa Gillette.
She was so fun to work with. Like we got to be in her what was previously her home studio, and that was just so fun. She was very excited, and you can tell she's passionate about what she makes.
Oh yeah, it was very cool to kind of hear her story too about how she got started and how she was getting collegiate licenses. I had
Yeah,
no clue that you had to do that as a person,
yeah. What a
creating those things, getting those licenses, and how
yeah.
hard it was going to be, with that.
Crazy amounts of work and dedication go into like just obtaining the licensing. I had no idea either. That was insane.
But one of the things I liked about that shoot was I felt like that was the first shoot for us, kind of utilizing some different tools that we had just gained in the new year. I know you just gotten a camera.
Just got a new camera, the Canon R5 Mark II, and that has been a game changer not only for me but for us because not only on Bluff Park Creative are we getting new angles, but I actually got to work alongside you on the wedding side of things and be your second shooter, which was a very cool experience for me.
Oh yeah, it's been really a fun year with that, and I felt like that shoot in particular, um, it was good to kind of have that extra angle, with the video, and hearing her story. So I really enjoyed that shoot, and I felt like it was a good kind of start to the year.
She got to experience us also struggle with having a second light.
Yeah.
So you got a new light, and
Yep.
it was hard. That first shoot was tough trying to figure out how not to have a reflection, but we are there.
Yeah, I know. I am a self-proclaimed, self-taught, in all this video stuff. So as far as lighting goes, I feel like I need to do a little bit more, experimentation with lighting, with videos, and so this year has really kind of helped me kind of really start to focus in on that because that hasn't been a focus of mine,
Hmm.
and I do feel like, with the storytelling piece in a video, you really want to make sure that you have all the elements there, to make the video look and feel good.
So we got to work with Melissa. We had a lot of other things that we got to work on. We had Chris Richardson, who we had tried to finish our first year together,
Yeah.
but actually got to work on and finish out this year. And that was fun because the power went out right
Yeah.
before it was time to shoot. And we need
Yes.
power for a lot of our things.
Right, right.
So you got there before I did. What was it? What was your initial thought walking into the barn?
I think, well, I had been there before, so it had been about a year since we had shot the first part of it, and just due to all of our schedules and things, it just took kind of going to this August to finish it up, and so I had already been in there. I already had visualized what it was going to look like, but we had this whole plan that we were going to put up the lights and things like that, but then the power was out, so it's like, okay, what can we do here? So what we ended up doing was we ended up opening up his kind of workshop shed doors and having the light spill in there, and then really utilizing the window light. And I felt like it worked out.
Yeah, by the time I got in there, it looked fantastic. I got a preview of your screen and I was like, yes, this is it.
Yeah.
I was so pumped. We got to shoot things like the 5K, so the High
Yeah.
Country 5K. We also had a chance to work with Bash on the Bluff again this year, which was always exciting. We love that partnership.
Yeah, we got to do their movie night over the summer. That was a cool experience. Someone who grew up in Bluff Park, it's been cool to see all these things start to happen and all these events for families and just for people in general. Connecting with different people. I've reconnected a few times with some people that I went to elementary school with that I didn't realize were back in Bluff Park. But yeah, so Bash on the Bluff was a good partnership again.
Yeah, for Bash on the Bluff, for me, it was cool because I'm from Homewood, and a lot of Homewood folks are moving into Bluff Park. And so during the Bash on the Bluff sponsorship work that we do in October, I met one of the husbands of one of the Bash ladies, and he and I were in the band together, and
Yeah.
it was fun to make that quick connection. And it was probably the quickest video I filmed because we were just so comfortable with each other.
Right.
That filming was nothing. It
Yeah.
was fantastic. So the Bash on the Bluff work has always been fun. They do such hard work to get such great community events put together. So I think the movie night was a great success, and I love
Yep.
being to be able to part of it. And even if we're just filming and capturing moments, it was really cool to see and watch kids play. And families were setting out chairs of all ages. I
Yeah.
saw an older couple setting up a chair, and they were the first ones there. It was very cute.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the Bash, if we're thinking about what we talked about at the beginning with our scope, I know that we've talked about that we really want to highlight creators and makers. But I would say also, just with the Bash, you do have a lot of creators and makers that we did video with the sponsors. But, thinking about how that fits into our scope, we see Bluff Park Creative is also kind of like a service thing to the community. And it's just been an awesome time utilizing those things with our community events that we have, and even the school, the elementary school, being able to serve them in the way that we have.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned to me earlier this week was just if you had to put this year in a word, what would it be? And for me, I'd say it's relational and relationships. We've done a lot of relationship building and maintenance this year that goes a long way.
Yeah.
And kind of like you were saying and getting to, we worked with the elementary school again. Last year we did the 100-year anniversary video with them.
Yeah.
But this year they tapped us, and we should talk about that.
Bluff Park Elementary reached back out to us about a project that they wanted to do in July. And they DM'd us, and it was a video that Auburn had done. I think it was to introduce their new Nike sponsorship or something.
Yeah.
And, I'm an Alabama fan, so I do see it was we're an Auburn family and things like that. And it was a cool video from an Alabama fan standpoint. I was like, man, Auburn did it great with this. And the real cool thing about it was that it did kind of tell a story about, all these different people from all these different walks of life coming into Auburn, participating in the Auburn kind of University Auburn football tradition. And the Bluff Park people that had DM'd us about it, they said, we want to do something like this with Bluff Park Elementary. And it ended up being called The Spirit of Bluff Park. So kind of take us along and where it went from there.
Obviously, we agreed. We were very excited to try to do something like this. And both of us, I think, immediately knew this is the biggest thing we've ever done. Like, this would be a lot of hands involved. We would need a lot of help from the school to actually get something done.
Yeah.
And so we had mentioned that.
And we only had, 2 weeks?
Yeah, we were very booked. There was a lot going on our plates. You had a lot of things for, I think, work and family trips.
Yeah.
I had some things for work and family. And then they were coming back from the summer, so they had some trips and some
Yeah.
vacation before school started. And so the goal was to have this video go live on the first day of school.
Yeah.
So we really didn't have a lot of time. And so you and I jumped into action. We put together a deck to
Yeah.
pitch this video idea that we had. So we storyboarded, we came up with like, here's the expected talent that we think or visualize would fit best here. We met with Amy and Sierra
Yes.
and showed them our presentation, and they were just blown away. They were like,
Yeah.
yes, we're in. What do you need? And
Yeah.
so after going through their yearbook and picking out students and thinking of teachers and thinking of parents that would be a great fits for each part of our storyboarding, we had it all put together and we had to choose dates.
Yeah.
And I think we had 5 dates that worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we made it work.
Yeah, and kudos to Amy Weems and Sierra Hutchins and just all the Bluff Park staff there. They really made it a fluid operation. I mean, for me, I feel like Anthony's always the dreamer, and I'm always kind of like the realist with some of the things. I'm a dreamer too, but I kind of think about, what could go wrong or something like that. So we were thinking about all the things that need to go into this video, and I was like, man, I really hope that day of we can just get in there and get it done. And really, kudos to all of them because it was just a really smooth operation.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had to talk you off of 2 ledges, and I think
Yeah.
it was the day after the meeting
yeah,
and then editing. I
Yeah.
think we had one moment where we're like, are we going to get all the shots we need?
yeah, yeah. Well, because we had it was a tight schedule. We really wanted to do it though, so we locked in and did it. And I want to go back to when we were storyboarding together, because this kind of goes to how our 2 minds work differently. I feel like I am very much a person that when I'm thinking about a video or visualizing something, I visualize it in my mind, and I just want to go do it, and just set it up. I feel like you're the type where, and tell me if I'm wrong, you can describe this, but you're the type where you have to really like lock it down and visualize it, but you also have to like plan it out like consistently each step.
Yeah. In this video context, I really wanted to. I wanted to know, there was an instance where you and I, for like 5 minutes, were trying to picture the front of the school and have the vehicle drive up and stop, kind of like a Wes Anderson format.
Yeah.
And you and I were describing the same exact thing that we were picturing in our heads. It was the same thing in real life, but for whatever reasons, our minds went there differently.
Yeah.
And so finally, we pull up Google Maps and we look at it together and realize we've been saying the same thing for 5 minutes.
Right.
And so we're like, okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
It just visually, I needed to see it. I needed to dream it out. And then I needed to literally pull up a map and look at it.
Yeah. And I think I'm from a background where, yes, I do this creative stuff on the side, but I'm a speech therapist full time. You are more on the marketing SEO side of things. So I do feel like you really bring a good aspect to that with Bluff Park Creative, because not only that, but I would not have thought of making a PowerPoint or kind of pulling this all together with that. So I feel like you're a real good organizer with those like minute details.
Yeah, something I really enjoyed about that video for us was getting to see you get excited. There were several shots where you're like, oh, we got to do it this. Like, I am picturing this. And I'm like, great, we can definitely make that happen. If you think you can do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
And I think the drone shots were one of those that was really a big excitement for you, because you have a drone. We don't really use them very often in our shoots ever, really, outside personal or for Bluff Park Creative.
Yeah.
But there was a shot that we really needed to get to really set where we were on the mountain. And let's talk about that. Like, getting that shot was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. I don't have a ton of drone experience. I really just use a drone to take it up, get a aerial shot of something, and then take it down. A few sweeping shots. So the vision of this video, Spirit of Bluff Park, was that we were going to take you from the first part of the first day of school. So when you wake up in the morning and you're talking with your parents, to driving to the carpool line, to kind of greeting your teachers and greeting your new teacher in your class and things of that sort. So if we're thinking at the beginning, the family that we ended up using were the Jacksons family, and they were really sweet, and it was really great to work with them. Hartley Jackson is actually part of the Basher on the Bluff, so it was really good to just kind of work with her and her family and her kids. And so anyway, they had I think it's a Bronco, a Ford Bronco, and we had to get a drone shot. The drone shot was going to kind of visualize Bluff Park. We're up on a big kind of mountain bluff area, and just kind of visualizing all that going to Bluff Park. And for me, I don't really do a lot of drone stuff. I do have a drone, but I really just use it just to get that upward shot. So I've really only taken a drone up and kind of moved it around in a sweeping motion. For this, we really had to follow the car, and we were only doing it for like a few seconds because
we went around the block.
Right, we just went around the block because don't want to do anything else with the drone there.
So I get you in my passenger seat.
Yeah.
We take the flight up from the top of my car.
Yeah.
And I slowly follow them. We're driving like 15 to 20 miles per hour around the block.
Yeah.
And we're going
maybe like 5 miles an hour. I told him, I was like, we need to just take it real slow.
Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, I know. And he had gotten you in the back of the car for some shots that we needed. And he just looks at you and goes, "Hey, is that thing steady?" And you're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Great." And then he just takes off.
I know. I was, I prepared myself, but I wasn't super prepared for that. Because thing could move. But no, that was a fun part, and fun to kind of interact with the community in that way and their family. From there, so we did that on like one evening. And then the big shoot day was on a Sunday, where we were going to get hopefully everything we needed, other than maybe the teacher voiceover.
So the voiceover and the home shots were the only things we didn't collect that day.
So like I said, it was a really big operation, but it went really smooth. Before that, we can kind of talk about, again, kind of our organization. I told you I would work better if we had assigned roles about who would do what that day, so that we weren't just kind of looking at each other and wondering,
did you get that?
Yeah, did you get that? Or who's going to do this? Who's going to talk to everyone? Things like that.
Yeah, so we actually had to take on that. I think that was a really wise decision on your part for us. Like, I think if we hadn't have done that, that day would have gone a lot worse for us. So great. That was a great decision. And so I took on kind of a director role. And so I spoke to the kids and the families and the teachers beforehand. Thankfully, Amy just crushes it. She helped organize every moment. Every time it was time to do a new set or a new shoot, she would ask, "What's coming? Who do we need?" And she would make sure we had them ready to go.
Right.
We worked with several teachers that day, and they were all just so excited. You would think it was actually the first day of school.
I know. Yeah. I know. We one teacher in particular that stood out to me was Anna Turpo. Yeah. We had worked with her with the 100 Years video.
Yes.
And we did this kind of a classroom sequence. And you would have thought it was the first day of school. They had done their whole room for this, finished it early before the first day of school. And so it was just really neat to see all that.
Yeah, something I think that we're not really comfortable with yet is when we get a shot and it's not great, having to ask, "Hey, can we do that again?" But I think this really got us out of our comfort zone in that there were several shots where we had to do 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Because we didn't love what we got the first time or the second time. Yeah. And that was just a really uncomfortable thing for us. But I think this project especially helped us break that comfort zone.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to being all in on a story and being all in on a video. Again, the way this video got made, Spirit of Bluff Park, and how it got made and how it got done in that short amount of time was because everyone was all in on it, and we were ready to do whatever we could to get it finished. And so it's just really cool to kind of be a part of that and be a part of a community like Bluff Park that I feel like is, whether it is Bashing the Bluff or whether it is the elementary school, everyone is kind of all in on doing these cool creative ideas like shooting a video for the elementary school for the first day of school and making it sort of like a, hype commercial type thing like Auburn did.
Yeah, let's talk before we dive into like the next phase, which is actually posting it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the tools we used that day.
Yeah.
So that was the first shoot we had a cart on.
Yes.
I went to Harbor Freight and just picked up a cheap cart because I was like, it's going to be a lot of work and a lot of effort to lug every piece of equipment we have to every part of the building that day.
Yeah.
So I went out, bought it, put it together, and that thing saved us. Like it was
did.
such a pain to go from like one side of the school to the other and carry everything. Like that would have just been impossible.
I know.
So
Yeah.
that was a game changer and has served us well
It has.
since.
Since, yeah. I remember we used it on the X video. We used it with all the Bash videos. I mean, it's really, having a cart was really a game changer.
Yeah.
It made me want to get a cart. I still don't have one, but Anthony, I feel like we always,
share.
feed off each other with our equipment. So I don't need a cart just yet, but
Yeah, so we had a new camera, a new cart. What was
Yeah.
your tool of the year? Like what did you like the most this year?
yeah, I mean, I feel like my tool that I always use for a lot of things for my own business, my wedding films, as well as my gimbal, it really served a big purpose for the Spirit of Bluff Park video, just because, we did have a camera on a tripod that was more stationary. But then having that gimbal and being able to kind of walk with the kids and get some of those sweeping shots like we did and steady, it was just a game changer. And if you don't know what a gimbal is, it's kind of like it's kind of a robot arm type thing. You put it on your camera and it stabilizes your footage so it doesn't look shaky.
Yeah, it's like got 3 axes and it stays straight no matter what way you turn, bend, or spin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome tool. And I have the first gen version of what you have.
Yeah.
And it is so much heavier.
Yeah.
But the shots we got, it really just adds magic because
It does, yeah.
being able to be in the crowd with the kids and moving with them made and broke. Like if we didn't have it, we would have broken a lot of the like storytelling there because
Yeah.
we wouldn't have been able to follow them through the hall as they opened the door and walked in where the teachers greeted them.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that really was an awesome tool and continues to prove very valuable to us.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I would say another tool that we use a lot, or we used a lot throughout the Bash videos, is wireless microphones. We use a lot. And obviously our light.
Yeah, those are make or break for a scene. I think very specifically like the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah.
Grocery stores don't have the best video lighting.
Yeah.
So using a light and a light dome really just take off in spaces like that for us.
For sure.
So let's look at posting this video. It's time to post.
Yeah.
And we love on Instagram the ability to like collaborate with people.
Oh, yeah. That is huge. I remember when you couldn't do that, and it was just so hard because, as a video person, you trust people to post it on their own, but also you're like, oh, I hope it posts like with the good quality and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Is it going to be out of focus or
Yeah.
blurry when they post? Are they going to put text over it? So
Yeah.
really getting the ability to control that by collaborating and posting it for them and then seeing it live, not only is it beneficial for us and them to have the best output, but it also reaches multiple circles. And
Yeah.
so we started watching people, and the week that we dropped that Spirit of Bluff Park video is the week that Instagram introduced the ability to like repost or retweet.
Yeah, I remember
basically.
that. Yeah.
So that was huge because the day we posted, we're like, hey, don't just like our video, repost it and
Yeah.
share it with your friends and share it with your family. And To date, that video has been our best performance video. So it's got something like 22,000 views,
Yeah.
160 shares.
Yeah.
It has a low like count, but likes, they don't matter like they used to.
Yeah, they don't.
So it's really cool to see people actually engaging by sharing. Lots of people commented on it, and that was really cool to see too. Is like, what's the reach really look like? And we can tell when we see people commenting.
Yeah, and I think it was cool too that, or neat that the city schools, Hoover City Schools, they also collaborated with it and they reposted it. And it was just cool to see that whole vision come to light and everyone love it. And it just kind of all wrap up like it did.
Yeah. Sierra and Amy really went above and beyond for us. Like, they went on our behalf and talked to the city schools and were like, we're doing a video. We'd love if you could share it too. And
Yeah.
like, they put in just as much work
Yeah.
as we did to make sure that it was not just successful, but people were excited about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So another thing that really stood out in that video was we posted our video, and then the next few hours as we're watching kind of likes come in and we're checking it out, making sure visually it's the right quality, we start seeing other elementary schools are also doing this.
Yes.
And so I'm sure it wasn't because they heard about us, but it was
Yeah.
really cool to see the other creativity in the Hoover community. So
Yeah,
I loved that part.
Right, it has been. I think they maybe have just hired a person doing videos for the city schools. I've been seeing other schools be doing this as well.
Yeah.
So it's just been neat to see, you know, Hoover as a whole get into kind of not only social media, but the creative aspect of what a video can do.
Yeah.
I feel like, that's one of the reasons why we started this Bluff Park Creative was because there was something missing within the Bluff Park community that we felt like we could fill with the video aspect.
Yeah.
And the storytelling of video. And so it's been cool to kind of see others do that as well.
Yeah. So looking back, we also not only had great videos, but we also had some more physical things.
Yeah.
We previously were using like a links website to have a
Yeah.
website, a .com. But this year I got sick and started building a website for us on JavaScript. And we launched just a single page landing page type
Yeah.
website, which is a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
It just turns out really nice, and it was really cheap. We pay for the domain, and I
Yeah.
host everything on my personal GitHub.
Yeah.
But I also, while I was sick, started designing a new logo for us.
Yeah.
And so we have a new name mark.
Yeah, I know. I really like it because I think it kind of adds more character. Our previous one was kind of what I would describe as like an Apple minimalist type.
It was the
logo.
base font
Yeah.
in Canva.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think it's something special for us to have it unique like that because the stickers are a really big deal for us.
Mm-hmm.
We love getting to film with people, but we also love giving out stickers.
Yeah.
And the stickers is kind of one of those things where when we hand it out to you, it's because we're thanking you for filming and being a part of Bluff Park Creative.
yeah.
And so it's cool to see our sticker out in the public because it usually means it's somebody that we've worked closely with or
Yeah.
had a moment to really bond with.
Right.
And so those are very special for us.
Yeah.
And so as we look into 2026, we're not stopping.
Yeah.
We're
not.
continuing on,
We're continuing.
but we need help.
Yeah.
So if you know an artist
Mm-hmm.
or if you have ever made something yourself and want to highlight it,
Yeah.
we're looking for artists for 2026.
Oh yeah.
So if you know anybody, DM us, send it our way. We'd
Yeah.
love to make some connections this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I feel like we still haven't gotten to everyone. So
We have it.
excited for new stories for next year. Excited to continue building upon what we've already done with our previous relationships that we built within the community. And I'm just excited to see where 2026 takes us. I feel like this year was a big year of kind of refining who we are and kind of showing us as a brand. So,
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, me too.